What is up, everybody? This is your dude LL here, and today we're going to be taking a bit of a dive into the macro market analysis for crypto for this year and kind of the year beyond. What are going to be the key events and big moments happening down this year, and what you should be anticipating, and what you should be obviously doing with your bags, selling, buying, or accumulating, or waiting for a dip, etc. So kind of starting off, before we go into the news items, there's obviously the crypto bubbles chart. What are the coins that are kind of going up right now? We have Rune, which I never, have ever invested, so I've kind of missed out the train. But then again, if you look at the year chart, we are still kind of far away from the yearly high, which was at $20, and kind of now we are sitting at around $8. So you're not basically buying at the top right now. I think there's still time to basically jump in board, but obviously there are some other opportunities here. Now, another good example of a good performing asset is Waves, and obviously the whole Russia-Ukraine situation has probably caused like a lot of mistrust among the Russian population regarding all of these Western companies which are banning their services in Russia. So they might trust a more domestic crypto project, and I think this is the main reason why we have seen like the monthly raise of Waves from like literally $8 to basically $30. It's still away from its all-time high on this year, but still it's crazy to see where we are at right now due to the whole war situation, which we're going to be talking about later down the line. Then we have things like Luna, which obviously performs really well because the assets are getting burned all the time. We have talked about it a lot of the times on the channel. Elrond is obviously doing really well, and STX, which is something you can stake and earn Bitcoin in return. Staking guide, hoping to, in the next staking cycle, going to be doing a video about that. But let's move into these key news events which have basically taken place. So a couple of days ago, we had a ban between the MEPs in the European Parliament about the proof of work ban. Here they say Bitcoin ban, but it's a proof of work ban, because at any point, but it's not going to happen, but Bitcoin community could decide we're going to be transitioning into proof of stake. Even if Europe would decide to ban proof of work, I don't think it's not going to be enough to convince the maximalists to basically transition to proof of stake. I don't think that's going to be ever happening. They are like, very like super religious, people in that type of a sense that they would never ever, transition away from proof of work. I just don't see that happening. Even going ASIC resistance is definitely not going to be happening with Bitcoin. Now, this is not like we are not out of the water yet, because as it was said by a person, I don't remember, let's see, what is his name, Patrick Hansen, which is the DeFi company known as Unstoppable, is that they can veto a fast-track procedure of MiCA through trilogies, meeting the place takes between European Union institutions around policy shaping, and bring a discussion over the planetary parliament. So they need basically 1 out of 10 the votes of the European Parliament to do so, which they basically have. Now, it's still likely that it may not happen or may not go through again, but this is still like a major victory over like these bans and restrictions that may happen. Luckily, even globalists are money hungry and they love crypto because it's going to be giving them a lot of money. So they're not going to be passing these bans. They're not going to be doing a full crypto ban. That's definitely on the table. Proof of work might go, but then again, we have talked about whatever proof of work will eventually be transitioning out. Currently in the top 100, we have like 8 coins which are proof of work, and maybe in next 2 years, that list is going to be like 3 or something. And also, this is a nice segue into the next topic, which is the Ethereum's 2.0 shift. This is not the full 2.0 update. Once again, this is the merger, which is meaning triple halving. Currently, we are minting 12.5 thousand Ethereum per day, and it's going to be going down to 1.2k. We are about deflating 2,000 Ethereum per day right now during the low gas fees. Maybe not as much, but what is basically happening is that this key event, which I was hoping to basically take place already like November or, Q1. It seems that we are going to be heading to August, and I'm kind of disappointed at the speed, obviously. But who knows, but this is going to be a major event. I still stand by my prediction that this will cause this year the Ethereum to flip Bitcoin, so Ethereum will become #1 coin. The tokenomics of the triple halving are so strong that there's just no way that there's going to be a way that Bitcoin is going to be keeping its dominance. At least like Ethereum will get close. Ethereum just needs to basically go twice its market cap to basically flip Bitcoin. But we're talking about triple halving here, which basically means 3 halvings in a row. It's 10 times going 90% supply cut. Okay? And there's no selling pressure from miners. Miners always have to sell so they can recoup the electricity costs and the machine costs of, running the network in Bitcoin. So this is so big and it's extremely bullish. And I've been telling you this a million times before. A lot of people still on, my subscribers don't believe that this will be happening. But hey, I'm happy to be wrong and also more happy to telling that you guys were wrong and you should have listened to me. But this is the biggest event that's going to be taking place this year, definitely. Moving on, we have the very, very new. This came out today, okay. This was the kind of like the thing that made me decide to do this video. So, Saudi Arabia, which is like, I think, so the biggest oil producers are Russia, America, Venezuela, and Saudi Arabia. I think this is speculation on my part. I'm not actually sure. I think those are the top countries. Now, the Saudis basically want to have that oil will be traded in yuan instead of the dollar. And 80% of all the oil that is being traded right now is against the dollar. Now, Saddam Hussein, the president of Iraq, basically suggested that oil would be traded in euros. Well, the US didn't like it. They came out and claimed that Saddam had nukes. He didn't. So Netanyahu, the president of Israel, lied about it, and they attacked Iraq and destroyed Iraq, bumped it to the ground. Then, a few years later, came Gaddafi, president of Libya. He said, let's trade oil in gold. Americans didn't like it. French didn't like it. UK didn't like it. They bombed the fuck out of Libya, left it into ruins. Now, Saudi Arabia, far as I know, based on some of the research I've done, is a lot more stronger country. You're not just going to be going into Saudi Arabia and destroying it like it's like some Libya or something. They have a pretty decent military. They have a lot of money, so they can do a lot of like mercenaries and things like that. And this might cause a war. Okay, guys, this might be a big war going into Saudi Arabia, putting on a new puppet state for the West, a puppet prince or something like that who is more pro-America. But we don't know if that's going to be happening. How is China going to be reacting to that? China also has their own interests. They want the yuan to be protected. So if this goes down, will China give military support for Saudi Arabia if they go to war? And so, yeah. So this is a very interesting thing, and we're going to talk about it a bit later. Another event which is going to be really big for another top 10 coin is the XRP lawsuit. Speculations are many. Some people are saying the lawsuit is going to be ending on September. Some people are saying August. But if they're going to be cleared out, which by my understanding, that's going to be the conclusion here. It seems that the XRP has a bit of a momentum here. Once the SEC, lawsuits end and XRP is, wins it, then we are going to be seeing a bullish rise on XRP, which could be 2 times, 3 times its current valuation. So betting on XRP is also very important. Now, another which I don't have a article about, given to the fact that Ethereum is transitioning into proof of stake, also could suggest that we're going to be seeing Dogecoin transitioning into proof of stake, which also is going to be meaning that emission rates on Doge likely going to be going a lot lower. And obviously it's going to be green. We talked about earlier about coins transitioning out of proof of work. So few are on it right now, and more coins are going proof of stake. Who knows? Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV could be the next ones because they're suffering from low hash rates, and those are security issues. But this could be the pathway also for Doge. But I don't know if that's going to be taking place this year or the next year. If Ethereum does a smooth launch, and it's not the same technology as as Doge, but it's probably building out some type of a base technology for it to that could ease up the transition to proof of stake, which is likely going to be happening because Vitalik is actually on the board of Doge Foundation or whatever it's called, and he's going to be having influences on transitioning Doge into proof of stake. That is very granted. Now, one of the coins also that's going to be having a halving next year. We're kind of early birds on this thing, but I remember being on the last Litecoin halving, and I was accumulating it at, I want to say, $30, and I sold it obviously on profit. So right now, this is next year still. This is next year's summer, okay? But you want to accumulate before the halving takes place. So when we look at Litecoin here, all-time high, $410, minus 74 from its all-time high, okay? Minus 74. That is, I want to say that most coins are minus 30 to 50%, but Litecoin has significantly dropped from its all-time high. Now, the Wimble update went through, and also you can issue Litecoin tokens in Litecoin. Litecoin doesn't have anything really going on for it, which could be very bullish. These updates are in a way very important, but nobody gave a fuck about them. But what really matters is obviously the halving. This is really much the only thing that is keeping Litecoin up and float right now. And that storyline, if you're buying, let's say you're buying at $100 right now, and you're putting it in. We have just 2 days ago, or was it 3 days ago, I did a C5 video about a bunch of platforms which give you interest on depositing your Litecoin up to 6% interest on your Litecoin. Buying it at $100, putting it in to one of these C5 services or even DeFi, whatever you want to do. And you will be getting 6% interest on your bags. And then there's going to be top of the halving, which could be taking this coin finally to $1,000 or maybe $800. So you're getting 5x plus the percentages that you're going to be making, holding the coin roughly for over a year in these interest earning platforms. I think this is a pretty good opportunity to buy in. We can see more of a dip happening. Did we cross below $100 at any point? I don't think we have. So in the last year at least, let's see the max amount here. So we were at really low amounts, but Litecoin was one of the best. Litecoin, Binance Coin, and I think Basic Attention Token were back in the bear market of 2020. I think they were one of the better performers back then, and 2019 especially. Litecoin had a really, really good run to $135 from $30. And I think this is a good entry point. I think it's a solid 2x right now. Litecoin is not going to be, after this halving, going to be any relevant. Hopefully, I'm not going to be ever buying it again. Then again, somebody could come out and say we're going to be taking Litecoin to proof of stake, which could also have some positive impact. Now, I want to talk about I'm going to be putting my amazing drawing skills at work right now. I'm going to be talking a bit about what's going to happen this year. So what are going to be, now that we kind of crossed the bone on all of these trends and everything, what are going to be the things that are going to be happening? So right now we have Russia versus Ukraine. And this conflict has two different outcomes, okay? Man, this is hard to draw. Okay. One is peace. And one is war. Okay, so in the peace situation, what we are seeing, the possibility that Ukraine will surrender now, hoping that they will do, because everybody's getting fucked. Not just the Ukrainians, not just the Russians, everybody in Europe, which have to pay ridiculous amounts for electricity and normal goods. We're financially getting fucked for a very low benefit. These sanctions are not going to be killing Russia. I think they're pretty energy independent, first of all. And this is a large country. It's not fully populated. And it's not like the whole Siberia is some type of farming plant. It definitely isn't. But I think they have enough like food and things going around. They might have some lack in some department, but they're still trading with China. They're still trading with Syria and some other countries like India. So they're not going to get fucked as badly as some other people. I think the West is going to be shooting themselves in the foot. Now, one of the ideas here also is that Russia maybe want to keep war going, because if the war is going, I guess that means that Ukraine is not able to join NATO, which is ultimately like what they're trying to prevent here. And this means that if the war is kept going on, I mean, the form of war may be very different. Like, it may not be, kind of fighting. It can be kind of like what it was before this invasion. Now, so that's going to be having a negative impact on the markets. It's going to be bringing war is good in the sense that it's bringing more. This is a stick man, okay? It's bringing more people into crypto. More people are getting into crypto. They introduced crypto because of all these sanctions going on for Russians, and also for in general. I think there's going to be it's one of these like trade-offs. It's going to be like, in the end of the day, it's going to be a good thing. It's going to be like you're paying a lot short term, but the end goal, getting more people in crypto. That's what we want. That's what we want, because when we are like having this sort of a full crypto thing, governments get weaker, institutions get weaker, and there's going to be less war in the world and hopefully less bullshit. So, okay, we have the war, and then we talked about Saudi Arabia, and war in there is going to be really bad. Oil costs are probably going to be very high if that goes down. And remember, this deal is not like sold on yet, so we don't know is this going to be like taking really place or not. As the Saudis going to be trading oil in yuan, we will see. That is going to be okay. If America doesn't attack, it's still going to be leading for the dollar to go down the drain. Okay, down the drain. It's going to be going down the drain. The dollar, everything about dollar's value is really backed by, that's where we call it petrodollar. It's really backed by oil and American imperialism. So the military, I mean, that's what they're going to be probably doing if it goes to that the dollar starts to like really die off. They're just going to be launching some random wars. They're going to be doing false flags and then justifying attacks on places like Venezuela. They're going to be putting their puppet state there and stealing all the oil and gold. What they did with basically on Libya and Iraq. So let's assume. Okay, let's Okay, how do we move here? Oh, let me move the screen here. Okay, so let's assume no war. What's gonna happen? What's the conclusion of no war? So no sanctions, things like that. The common goods are gonna be getting into same prices and things like that. So war will have an impact on things like ASIC miners. One of the things I said last year was that this could be the year of IoT. So helium miners, Planet Watch, all of these things. This could be basically the year of IoT. But if this goes into the war, that means that there's not going to be a lot of supply. It's going to be really hard to there's going to be shortages on devices. And that's going to be having a kind of like a bottleneck effect or restrictions on adapting the IoT further. So people if you order a helium miner, you are going to be waiting 6 months or something. And a lot of people don't want to do it, especially when the IoT miners are very inconsistent on their income. But there are a couple of good ones like Planet Watch and MCX, which I will do a video about MCX soon. And probably it's time for me to kind of also talk about my helium experience with my 2 miners. But yeah, so this could be the year of IoT. Another event that's probably going to be taking place if war is not going to happen, but there's going to be regulation, and that's going to be leading in to KYC. KYC will have a positive impact on privacy coins. So that is basically, I think the only ones that are really relevant are Zcash. I don't like Zcash at all, but I guess it's going to be doing well. Zcash also had a halving right now, I think last month. Monero, which I have the highest holdings on any of the privacy coins, and Secret Network. Also AR, Pirate Coin, R. R is good too. It's a Kamado fork. They have certain aspects of privacy. I think in R, the mind blocks are also private. In Monero, mind blocks are not private. So these four, in my opinions, are strongest privacy coins. I'm gonna say I'm not like super uber best like privacy expert, so I could be wrong about, or maybe I'm a bit ignorant about things. Also, Secret Network, they launched Shade, and Shade is going to be launching Silk, and Silk is going to be a decentralized privacy coin, which is the next segment here we're going to talk about. This is the decentralized stable coins. The regulation is going to be happening, and USDT, there's some thought about it that it could be totally taken down now. So I've sold all my USDT, sold all of it, okay? So we're left with USDC, and Paxos are probably the largest centralized stablecoins right now. These are the two I recommend you buying, just my 2 cents. But obviously then we are left out with decentralized stablecoins. We talked about Silk, Eras R, Reservoir, they're doing on their mainnet launch. Could that have an impact on their stuff? Who knows? We don't know. Could be worth looking into. Then we have also Luna's ecosystem, so UST, which has now taken over DAI. So UST is now bigger than DAI. For many reasons, I think UST is superior to DAI. And I think USD is something I would hold more because it's decentralized. Luna has a kill switch, so they can fully decentralize everything. I mean, it's decentralized already, but they can like do a kill switch thing. So it's like really a lot of guarantees. So USD is good, and there's any other plus other Luna stables. Now this Silk thing, Secret Network had a bit of a congestion recently, so I'm a bit skeptical about how they can handle it. Silk could be good. There's going to be more. There is some stable coins also on Waves, but I don't really trust the Waves as like a network. But let's put it here, Waves. I have some stable coins there, but there's going to be Algo, not talking about Algorand here, but algorithmic stable coins. So this is kind of like, what's it called again? Ampleforth, yeah, Ampleforth. So Ampleforth style stable coins. So I think the algorithmic stable coins and these privacy coins we talked about, these are probably the two things that are going to be having some type of focus this year. Depends on a lot of the narratives. How regulation is going to be. Regulation is going to be having impact on stable coins, and it's going to be having impact on algorithmic stable. So regulation will lead into impacts on stable coins, and it will also leave more into favorance of algorithmic stable coins. And also, obviously, any type of regulation is going to be bringing up hype for all of these privacy-based things. So that's interesting. So there's things that I think ultimately what I think focus on this year, IoT, depending on the war situation. IoT could be the thing of next year as well. We don't really know. But I also think algorithmic stablecoins are going to have focus. We kind of still need like Euro stablecoins, yuan stablecoins. I know Luna has an Euro now, but the Euro is very, very, very small. And then we have Stasis Euro, which is also like very, very, very like small project. Is nowhere like listed on. First of all, like not listed on exchanges. It's not listed on Nexo. It's not listed on any of these interest platforms. Like, I want to have Euro that I can get interest on. Okay, like I mean, we wish that Anchor protocol in Luna would also emphasize focusing a bit more on other stable coins than the USD, because ultimately USD is still pegged into the US dollar. And the problem with that is if US loses the monopoly from the oil trade, that's going to be taking it down, 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 down. It's going to be, red all over, like red, 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 red for US dollar, okay? Like this red, okay? So it's bad to have a lot of too many stable coins are focused on the dollar. There are things though. Let me put down the rainbow pen this time. So there's one that is based on electricity, but this also was electricity in US or something. I don't remember the name right now. There can be other stable coins, which could be, oh yeah, one thing I forgot to talk about is gold. Gold's been doing really good. You have to understand with Paxos Gold, which is the best gold stable you can get. Don't trust Tether Gold. You can still get 6.4% interest on your Paxos Gold, which is going to be offsetting possible dips that it may have. So physical gold also would have, depending on if you're in a war zone area or you need to liquidate, but also having Paxos Gold is going to be important. I hope you're going to be getting a silver-based coin and platinum. Platinum has, is it platinum or platinum? I'm always not sure. And these actual platinum has outperformed gold this year, or in a while. Meanwhile, for a while. So we need more stable coins that are pegged into electricity, and some assets could be wood, oil-based stable coin. That would be kind of good. Actually, very strong to have right now because, well, it's actually hard to say. War will need oil, that's for sure. So in all end of things, we're going to be seeing a lot more pegged assets. I think privacy coin cycle and IoT. But a lot of these things are really up to the regulation. If Ethereum takes the #1 spot in first, okay, I'm kind of fucking draw first spot in market cap, there's going to be more supplementary products. People who are going to be building top of Ethereum things like layer 2. So, high tides rise all boats, as the saying goes. So layer 2 projects, Phantom I would look into, Avalanche. I hate Polygon, so I'm not going to recommend it to you guys. And I have a great video about it, why. I mean, Maker could see some value added to it. So there are aspects about which are going to be affected by Ethereum's rise. I don't exactly know, aside from layer 2s, what those could be. But there could be like supplementary things. If it also takes first spot, there could be like ETFs and other types of things like, well, I don't think those really matter at this level. I don't think like, yeah. And oh yeah, I think very last, we're almost, crossing 30-minute mark here, but there are countries which are considering, crypto as legal tender. We have Panama. They have talked about Elrond and Ethereum, for example. I think they're the very list. I think there was Costa Rica. and some other like small Caribbean states. There could be also like Liechtenstein from Europe, Malta, Monaco. These types of countries with smaller economies are gonna always, cash into these things. So those are gonna have an impact. But remember this, guys: when El Salvador announced Bitcoin as a legal tender, it was a bearish signal. Okay, it was a bearish signal, but they bought it, and it wasn't really good for the thing. But if more countries come out, it's not just an odd one out there. It's going to have a cascade effect for more pressure for other countries to adapt, because Mexico's one of the politicians just talked about it. So I think these are Mexico, fuck man. So these are the three most major things. So to recap, IoT, different kinds of stables are going to have very much changes, centralized and decentralized, and pegged tokens, and then we're going to have this gov adoption. I don't really care about like some weird ETFs, and I'm not really savvy with all that traditional finance thing. I think legal tenders are what matter here, which are going to pull in the green light. So gov adoption, staples, IoT, and privacy coins. So I think those are going to be the clear things. People talking about, what about DeFi? What about metaverse? And metaverse, I think it really, you need a one big launch, and that's going to be Sandbox. And once there's a one like really big game, which like gets, 2 million users, and not some people some people, there's already these millionaire games. Yeah, there's a lot of bots farming these games, but like, getting a AAA NFT game out is most important thing, and that's Sandbox right now. I think others are way too far, but Metaverse may have some like mini cycle. But there's too much saturation in Metaverse right now. I'm not investing really in anything. I'm just going to keep my money on sand and wait for the game to launch to build more things around it. And you want to own, obviously, some NFT Metaverse land pieces as well. And maybe some tokens, but like individual profile picture NFTs, I don't think will have that much impact. But that's pretty much my breakdown. We have made a very solid, long video here talking about kind of what's going to be happening this year, the next year. There's going to be possible dumps and drops happening. But if they don't happen before the Ethereum, the Ethereum is such a bullish sentiment for their update. So if there's going to be a drop, it's probably going to be happening before their update comes out. And that's what I'm ultimately really worried about here. Will Vitalik and others able to deliver this fucking product without any fucking more delays? Like, already ship it out. If it's having less features, I don't care. Just get the merger out, and that's going to be the very bullish signal for this year. And it's a key event that's going to be taking place. And if XRP wins after that in August, alongside 2 months after, it's going to be very bullish. But Bitcoin, I wouldn't be holding it. I don't really see the value right now. Only play Bitcoin can make is getting another government to basically, announce it as a legal tender. That's the only thing that can have an impact on the price. But then again, El Salvador really didn't have an impact. So they might do in Bitcoin. There's a conference in Miami in April called Bitcoin 2022. It looks a tree. No, it's two. So, maybe they announced some shit here. But we don't know. But hey, I'm not going to make this video any longer. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, leave your questions down below. I will be seeing you in the next video. Cheers.